Yeah. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Code Noobs, another Saturday morning live stream. It is Saturday, January 27th at 9 o'clock a.m. And today we have the fun topic of coding and the good life. I'm Randy,
Woo.
here with my buddy Danny. What's up, Danny?
What's up, Brady?
Now, you guys may notice that Russ is missing for this one. Don't worry, though, for those of you joining us for the mentoring later, he will be joining us for that. But for this special live stream, it's just me and Danny discussing coding and the good life. And I feel like Danny is particularly well qualified for this one, and maybe myself kind of minorly qualified, because Danny is actually a philosophy professor, and I minored in philosophy. So,
Yeah, a lot of knowledge and a lot of we've spent a lot of time thinking about this, right?
yeah. So before we get into it, real fast, for everybody watching out there, let us know down in the comments. Do you find any type of life balance while learning to code? Are you struggling? Just put a 0. Are you thriving? Put a 10. Are you somewhere in the middle? Give us a number just to give us an idea where you are on the whole spectrum. And then, Danny, what the heck is the good life? And why is it important?
Yeah, it is hard, right? I think it's important. I think however you define the good life, it's important to have a sense of what you mean by it because, it's easy to kind of get distracted or to like not pay attention to things, to forget about why we're doing things, to forget about what matters to us, to forget about what we value or take things for granted. And then before you know it, time can pass and you'll find yourself in a position you didn't want to be in, you know? And I think, or in a life that doesn't work for you. I mean, I think we've all experienced this in some way, shape, or form. I know myself, like just speaking personally, like, as a teacher, I really liked the instruction part, but then like as I got into academia and stuff, I really found out that I didn't like it. And it's like you find yourself in this point where, you're doing something that you've been doing for a long time, but it's not really fulfilling things that you really need fulfilled to live your best life, right?
Mm. Yeah, and I think nowadays it kind of gets taken away because a lot of people are searching for happiness
Yeah.
and
The
maybe getting
elusive.
lost. They're like, I want to be a coder because I want to make a lot of money and I want to be able to work on a beach and work whenever I want, but I'm freaking miserable. I'm supposed to be happy. What's wrong with this life?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that, and I think happiness is one of the big problems that we face too, because like, I mean, we've talked about this before, but like, happiness is one of those things where I think we can't just be happy all the time. It's unrealistic. But we have this idea in our heads because we watch the movies with the happily ever after, we imagine, we see all these like social media posts where everybody looks just like they're always partying and doing stuff, and we're like, that looks great. But the reality is life's ups and downs. You're not going to be happy consistently. So I always like the term good life because I think it's more like broad and covers a wider range, not just like your emotions, but like, your success, how well you're doing, how are your relationships, you know, um, do you have like hobbies? Do you have things that you value? Do you do stuff beyond just this one thing? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nowadays people tend to get lost in the whole concept of like success as if it's related strictly to a financial number of how much money you make in a year.
Yeah.
And they lose out. Like I really like the story about the really rich guy who goes on vacation down in Mexico and he finds some guy playing guitar on a Mexican beach fishing, and he's like, hey, if you like to go fishing, I mean, you could take out a loan, buy a couple boats, and then before long, 5-10 years, you have a whole fleet out there. You could rake in the money, and then you'll be able to retire after making all this money. And the guy's like, well, what would I do then? He's like, well, you could sit on a beach and play guitar and fish. It's just like we spin our wheels doing all this stuff. And I think it's very apropos to coding because you can lose yourself in it. Totally.
Well, you can. And I also think, I think it's also very appropriate too, because like a lot of people, I think are attracted to certain industries and certain careers because they think they're gonna, because there's the potential to make money, right? And of course, like, don't get me wrong, money is definitely important. If you have none, it seems like the most important thing in the world, and it can be very important, just to live like, I think, a decent life. But if you make it everything, you're making decisions that might not like really align with like really what matters to you and your real values. or what
Mm.
interests you too, you know?